Good morning, all you now former GBA type people. This is Tom bringing you guys week 5 of the GBA. Now, this will be the last official GBA match. This week we played against Dan, owner of the St. Louis Rampardos, also an expansion team, and currently tied with me for second place in the Gold Division. Or third place, I should say. But like I said, this will be the last official GBA match that I will be uploading. The GBA is now finito. Many reasons. You can check out Miguel's video or Shady's video or whoever else wants to upload a video and discuss why they think the GBA collapsed. I'll upload one, but not right now, but soon. So this week we played Dan. He new team, new coach. Maybe not the most experienced, but certainly has adapted very well, and has brought a different side of competitive battling to the league. So looking at his team, this week we have my former runner-up in terms of team MVP. We have Zard Y. I loved using Zard Y last season, and I was so tempted to draft it, but he had constructed almost a pseudo Sun team, and it would have been a shame for him not to draft it. So his team consists of the evolved Fat Lord herself, Blissey. And then it has obviously Zard Y, Jirachi, and Latios. And the reason I put all these up at the tier 1 threats is because they're all really powerful. Rachi, dual stab psychic, and Steel really does threaten my team. And then Latios, I have to be very specific on what I switch into a Latios. And then Blissey is always hard to take down. I know because I used it and because I hate fighting against it. Anything that's like fat and pink, namely that ends in EY, I don't like fighting. So, Chansey, Blissey, or just fat and pink, Slowbro, Alamola, on my team, I guess Clefable. And then Zard Y, I loved using this thing. I love the sun. I love how it just, cooks things. However, it's also what Chris, the guy who did the power rankings, he said it the best way I think I've heard anyone say it, and that it's a mega in which you have to hold its hand, but it does do its job very well, but you have to hold its hand the entire time because of stealth rocks, basically. Now moving on to the tier 2 threats, we have Registeel, Venusaur, Heracross, and Cloyster. Now Cloyster might not seem like a huge threat because of how tempting it is to throw rocks up against his team. But Cloyster, I don't need it setting up shell smashes. Heracross, I had very limited switch-ins to, namely, your choice banded variant, because like I could run, Bold or Impish, Arcanine, and I don't even think it wants to take a choice banded, anything. Venusaur I thought was a threat because, I have a fairy type and it's a very free switch into Clefable. It's Sleep Powder and Chlorophyll boosts, and it could sweep or it could just be a pain in my ass at Subseed and whatever. So a lot of possibilities and a lot of things I had to look out for. And then Registeel, I thought a Blissey Registeel kind of core would be effective for him, mostly because my team, Blissey could sponge all special hits, and then if I have Latias in, he can just absorb a Side Shock with Registeel. So I thought that was what I was most afraid of. Actually, to kind of just, put it out there, I think the team that I predicted him to bring was Zard Y, Venusaur, Registeel, Blissey, and then Latios or Jirachi. Now, he could have also substituted Venusaur with Heracross or Cloyster. And that was the team I expected him to bring because the bottom 3 being Ninetales, he already has a Sunset Rubber, no need to bring 2. DNC is handled by most of my team. I have a Bullet Puncher, one of the best Bullet Punchers in the game, if not the best. And then I have Cure Black, and yes, Dual Stab, I can't switch into a DNC, but Cure Black gets Iron Head. So, and it outspeeds a DNC with base 50 speed. So, yeah, good night. And then Espeon. Espeon is it's hard for me to consider Espeon a threat because he has Latios and he has Jirachi. And if it's on the team with Zard Y, I know that it's just going to come into sponge a hit, or not sponge a hit, bounce back, some kind of hazard or some kind of status move, and basically then just hit hard or set up a screen, and then that's it. So that's how I saw his team. Let's get into the battle. And like I said, I told you what I had predicted him to bring. All right, battle time. All right, so looking at team preview, it seems like I did not get his team right for the most part. I don't see Espeon, don't see Venusaur, but we do see Diancie, we do see Heracross, and we also don't see Blissey. So that was kind of a huge relief not to see the fat thing. My team this week consists of Spadef, Arcanine, with Intimidate, Spadef, Probopass, Defensive, Clefable, and then I have a Scarf Scissors, Scarf Latios, and a Toxicorp Hariyama, or my free agency pick. Now he leads with Registeel, I lead with Probopass. Probopass, there was nothing except Zard Y that would scare me out if I led with Probopass. Goes for rocks, I go for rocks. The first turn is essentially just us exchanging stealth rocks. And unless he defogs, I don't have defog or Rapid on this team. So if he defogs both our hazards away. Goes with Seismic Toss here, not a big deal. I just go for Volt Switch. This thing, Probopass, as much as people bash it, it's nice because, I get to set up some kind of hazard, and then I get to switch out into something like Fisty here. Now, my plan of action here was just to go for Fake Out to initiate my Toxic Orb, and then to go for Close Combat. But I guess I'm just the mechanics for how Toxic Orb activates to me are just always kind of a little strange. It always takes a little bit for me to kind of adjust to when it activates, if I have to be there for a whole turn or not. I guess I mix up between Speed Boost and Toxic Orb, whatever. Toxic Orb CC just decimates that Registeel. I don't care what that was. Goodbye. So Hariyama gets his first and pretty much his only kill in GBA history on the Sharpedos. Switch out because Latios is not good for Hariyama. Going to Clefable, kind of expect to see the Psyshock. Instead he goes for Hidden Power. I don't know what type of Hidden Power this is. I probably will never figure out. Maybe HP Fire, maybe HP Flying. I don't know. I will never know. I never asked. I don't care. But this is obviously Defog, or not Defog. Well, Defog, Life Orb, Latios, probably with Dragon Pulse or Draco, Psyshock, and some kind of Hidden Power value. So it's good to know that my Latios will now outpace his Latios because obviously Choice Scarfed. Go for T-Wave here, maybe to catch the Latios, thinking he could, get some big damage off of Psyshock or something. But I T-Wave the Diancie, and just based on his team structure, I can kind of tell this is not going to be some sort of whatever the offensive set that they have on Showdown. That's pretty much confirmed right here because he goes for a Reflect. Smart move on his part, really, because he sees I have a Scissor, and he knows that obviously Steel is quad effective against a Diancie, of all things. So, good play on his part, because now Iron Head, I don't have Bullet Punch, I have Iron Head, will not KO. This move right here is probably the only, what I'll call like a rash move on my part. I go for Power Gem, maybe trying to catch the Zard, because what I was thinking was, Probopass is obviously a Steel Rock type, and with Rocks already up, and me not wanting to take a Fire Blast in the Sun, I'd have to switch out so he could Mega Evolve and Roost, or Mega Evolve and just go Fire Blast and get off a lot of damage. This Rachi to me seemed, I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay. This Rachi seemed to me like it was Scarfed, or not Scarfed, or some kind of, variant that goes for U-turn. I thought Scarfed for a minute because I didn't see any kind of leftovers. So I go to Waffles, nice and reliable Waffles, and he turns out, I thought he would go for like Iron Head or Fire Punch or something, but he goes back on to Diancie, and the thing about him bringing in Diancie is I don't see any item, and I know that, like I said, based on team structure, it's not going to be the offensive variant, So I know this is like clay with screens. I'm not sure what got me to kind of catch on to that. I think maybe he had mentioned it in the GBA chat earlier in the week. He goes for Moonblast, does like 0, and you know, I go back on the Pro Pass. Pro Pass this week was specifically brought solely so that I had a switch in, and a good switch in for that matter, into Diancie, because something told me that he would bring Diancie. He picked it up in free agency. You know, it's a new shiny mon on his team. Why not bring it? You know. This right here, I get initiative on my end, and I just go for Volt Switch. That means now I get to set the matchup in my favor versus him. You know, I had Arcanine, I had to switch Arcanine into Jirachi. He gets to U-turn out into Diancie. Now the momentum is back on my end and out of his hands. So I go back out into Arcanine, and I believe, oh right, I think I just right here, I think I just go for Morning Sun as he switches out into the U-turns out into Diancie again. So right here I just go for Morning Sun, and I'm just catching up. I'm a little ahead, but what's about to happen is going to be a little bit unfortunate. And the reason I say that is, you know, go for Morning Sun, and I'll be switching out into Probopass in just a minute. So obviously we use Thunderwave for different reasons. It's to, you know, make your opponent's mons be cut into a quarter. But as Joe has stated it before, or as many other people stated it before, you don't just go for T-Wave to get the speed cut. You get it to get the fully paras. And I don't say that to sound like a dick, I say that because that's true. You use T-Wave so that they do get fully paralyzed, and that, you know, you kind of have a free turn to do whatever. Now, does it suck that these next, like, 3 of 4 turns he gets fully paired? Yeah, but, you know, I'd prefer him to not have a Reflect Up, because it makes my life easier, because I don't have Brick Break on anything, or Defog. But I did enjoy, you know, that's kind of why I run T-Wave over Toxic or something, and, you know, for a second I thought about putting Toxic on Clefable or even Arcanine instead of Thunderwave, but I figured a better investment on my end would be going for Thunderwave, just solely because I can get those fully pair chances. I do knock off the Light Clay here, like I suspected, based on just the way that he was using this Diancie, which means that screens are only going to be up now for 5 turns, and now for 8 turns. Go for Moonblast, and this is a clean, like, not clean, but it's 4 KO without leftovers. And he only has about 50% left. So, you know, that full para, those 2 full paras, they sucked, yeah. But they were good on my end, because that's why I run T-Wave, and I'm not going to dance around it and say that, you know, that's hacks, but it's part of the move, and it's just the perk of having that move. So I knock out Diancie, and pretty sure right here he goes back on to Jirachi, and I will be switching out into Probopass. Now that Diancie is gone, Probopass is solely meant to handle Jirachi, and then also to die if I needed to, because it's not necessary to have anymore. So he goes for U-turn, and right here I think is when he figures out, like, hey, now I can finally get, you know, Zardwai up Mega Evolved, which now my walls this week were specifically tailored to certain mons. Clefable is tailored to take on Latios, and to take on, I think it's, and any kind of setup mons, like if he had like Combine Espeon or Shell Smash Cloyster, because it's defensive, so I don't think an attack from the Cloyster would do anything, and I can cripple it with T-Wave. But then Arcanine, this Arcanine is completely special defensive invested with Intimidate in case his Zard had Earthquake, because I'm pretty sure Earthquake at -1, at -1 from like a mixed or a, you know, even a worst case, you know, a best case scenario, a modest or timid Charizard will only do about 25% as compared to like 35 to 38% with his Fire Blast. I think it's 30 to 44%. So regardless, Arcanine can take it on, and now that he has the Sun up, I believe right here I go for Morning Sun, and or is it next turn? Oh right, yes, it's next turn. I'm gonna go for Morning Sun next turn, because with the Sun up, oh man, all the HP back. Sucks that he missed for Fire Blast. He goes for Fire Blast, and he misses it. But sorry, you don't. If you don't want to miss fire move in the sun, just put fucking Flamethrower on it. That's why I always went Flamethrower last year. I don't fuck around missing Fire Blast, especially when I need to hit them, because who knows? That Fire Blast could have killed, could have got a crit, you know, whatever. But I reveal here that I'm a Special Arcanine, and I go right for HP Rock, and it's a good thing that he roosts there, because if he didn't, that probably would have did, I think, between like 77 and 90%. So I wouldn't have killed, but it definitely wouldn't super much damage. Right here, I should have went for Dragon Pulse. I feel like the little voice in my was screaming, "Go fucking Dragon Pulse, do it!" But I figured HP Rock is just damage at this point, because if he is like a defog set with like 3 attacks or like 2 attacks and like 1 stab move, I'm pretty sure I'm just okay to go into Clefable. But he goes for Side Shock here, and I guess I'm not okay to go into Clefable because that's a lot. Damn it, defensive Clefable. So, and I guess it's a Life Orb Latios. So, what am I really gonna ask for here? He's gonna knock me out here, upcoming with a Side Shock, and that's no big deal. You know, Clefable. Well, it would be nice to have for anything else. Yeah, I'll let it die to a Side Shock. Because I go right onto my Scarf Scissor, and you know this set I swore I'd never use again, just because I didn't like it, and I didn't like how it worked on a team, or I guess against Fizzy. But Scarf Scissor, I have it set so that I outspeed a timid max speed Latios or timid max speed Espeon by 1 point, which is not full speed investment for a Scissor. I think it's like 192 EVs. So the rest are in Spadef, and obviously I may have maxed out attack. But I go into Waffles here. And I kind of fudged up right here because I thought this was like a double down type situation where both Mons come in at once, and I would get the Intimidate off on his Heracross, which is what I was pretty much banking on because he only has 3 Mons left because DNC, Latios, maybe he has, and Registeel are gone. So I figured Heracross was his best switch in here, and I have nothing to take take close combat, which I knew before this battle even started. I had nothing to take a banded Heracross, and so Probopass, like I said, pretty much just fodder here. The best thing I had to fodder, to be honest. Anything else, honestly, like Rachi is outsped by my Latias, and then I could handle it well enough with like Scissor or even Arcanine right here. But I go into Arcanine, and I thought, I'll be able to take close combat. I thought I could, but then right there, that's when I figured out this thing is a choice banded Heracross, and it ain't nothing to be fucked with. I tell you what. So he knocks me out here. If he had a Moxie boost, it didn't matter because Scarf Latias. Now right here, he thinks, oh, he's gonna go for Side Shock because it's so painfully obvious. Oh my God, so painfully obvious. What is happening in my video right now? But he's gonna switch out into Jirachi, and if the video would catch, in a second. All right, starting from my script from the battle, switches out into Jirachi. And I go for HP Fire, and I actually go for 2, and it's gonna knock out the Jirachi. Are we really doing this right now? Like, is the battle like that effed? Really? All right, something's gonna F up with the battle here. I'll just explain. Wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. The video's gonna mess up for the rest of this, and I'm just gonna talk through the rest. So, Side Shock is obviously painfully obvious, and he switches out into Jirachi, thinking he can take one and then, U-turn on me or something. But I'm just gonna go for HP Fire. That's what this Latias had, and I go for HP Fire. He stays in. I knock it out with HP Fire. Then he switches in with Heracross, and I was fearing that since the sun was not up, I couldn't go for HP Fire and knock it out in one shot. So I switch on to Scissor. He knocks off, and then he knocks off again because he outspeeds me when I'm not scarfed, and I had that Bullet Punch on it. So he goes for knockoff, knocks me out, and this pushes it down to a 2-0 because then I just come right in with Side Shock Latios, Scarf Latias, and go for side shock to knock out the Heracross, and then Zard Y comes in, takes 50% from Stealth Rocks, and I knock that out with a side shock as well, giving me a 2-0 victory. Now, I don't know if the video will be playing still right now, but I'm just going to talk real quick. So this ends me pretty much for the GBA as we know it. This ends me at a 3-2 with a +1 differential, currently leading the gold division. And that's pretty much where the Sharpedos are going to end this year. You know, it sucks that the GBA has ended, but I guess all things do have to come to an end. And not only that, but, you know, just things, you know, there was just a lot of malcontent and just people getting bored with the league. So, all things must come to an end. And so that means my battles, obviously, no GBA battles are going up on Sundays. But I do have plans where I'd like to battle Kote. I never got to battle Kote, so I think I'm gonna tell him, you know, probably tomorrow, Sunday when you see this battle, be like, hey, just next Sunday or next, you know, Saturday, Friday, whatever, let's battle. Just bring your GBA team, how the same way you'd prep for anyone else, but prep for my GBA team. I'll prep for yours, and we'll throw down. I like to do the same thing with Adam, and then I'd also like to do the same thing with Roger, maybe even Miguel if I could. You know, if he's up for a battle. Yeah, I think it'll be fun, and it would definitely give me something to do. Because now that I'm not worried about, you know, following my schedule, I can just go ahead and battle whoever. And not only that, but you'll also be seeing. Obviously, I'm not gonna do Showdown. I'm never gonna do Showdown. So you'll see, you know, I have I have a roulette battle against Dan's I could upload. I also have a random, you know, mixed tier battle. It's a rain battle between Gary and I. It's a really good battle. He uploaded his side a little ways back, but I'm gonna upload it because I thought it was a hell of a match. So you'll see some content, maybe not GBA content. So, you know, if that's what you're here for, I'm sorry. I do plan on either being in or making or joining someone else's GBA type format if that opportunity arises for me. But as of right now, it seems like I am just in limbo. So if you choose to stick around, thank you. If you don't, it's been one hell of a ride. And this is not the end of the Sharpedos. I can guarantee you that one way or another, I will continue. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, any concerns, any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'm not necessarily going to answer every GBA question, solely because I've dealt with that all today, being Saturday. I don't feel like dealing with it again. But you could ask, and if it's not too outrageous, I'll answer. But thanks for watching, and talk to you guys next time, whenever the hell that might be. Peace out.